terms of players with big challenges in the second half, there's another one, Jared Witts.
He does. Nat Nui as well, who was dominant in the first quarter. I thought he dropped off. Thought the Collingwood ruckman did pretty well, but given the injury that they have now sustained at the Eagles, it may come back to haunt them down the track because they're locked into the 3 tools for the rest of the match.
We start the third quarter. The Eagles have the breeze in this term, and they sorted out pretty well. Shuey with an interesting approach. Got the shoe onto it and got it to half forward. Side bottom comes through. Shuey ducked the head. Was able to handball it to Pritis. If he meant that, he's a genius. He finds Gaff, who sends it, and that was all kept away from the Pies. And you can see a little bit of a grimace as he comes out. Lysette takes the mark and will line it up for his third goal. But Scott Lysette enjoying a good day in front of the goals, and that continues. In fact, it gets better and better for the West Coast. There's the damage done from stoppages for the West Coast Eagles. 10 scores to 3. Witts was able to ride it out and get the tap, but didn't stop Natanui getting the clearance in the end. Sheed. It was a late inclusion for Mark Lacroix, who was the sub, and got his chance earlier than expected with the injury to Alice just before quarter time. Again, Lysette in the sights. Keefe.
Oh, that's paid from the umpire further afield.
The out of zone umpire paid this.
Yeah, free kick. You got to pay that.
Scott Lysette all of a sudden lining up for his 4th goal to put a real gap in proceedings once again. Get it out around that 5-goal margin where it sat for quite a period early in that second term. Not the most convincing of starts, but it's worked back beautifully, and the Eagles are red hot at the start of the third quarter.
It just about snagged this one, Jason.
Well, they need something. We're going to find out a lot about Collingwood in the second half here.
Reid runs around to improve the look at the goals. Witts is deep, knocked it to the front. It was dangerous there for a moment. But the Eagles up to the challenge, work it through for a minor score.
The best way to defend, Jason, Jared, is to protect your back 50, your defenders in the back 50 by numbers. They're getting smashed at the moment.
Look at this.
They're playing better and better, though, the Eagles. This is a gimme goal.
All the way from one end to the other of Patterson Stadium. Get on your feet, Eagles fans. Kennedy just pops it through. What a performance.
He made a very bemusing decision, Jack Frost, to take off and leave Kennedy over the top when he was never going to get anywhere near Cripps in the middle of the ground. You're better off making the bloke have a running shot from 40.
To the ladder, Collingwood would be outside the 8 on percentage, and the West Coast with a superior percentage, only 4 points shy of it. Fasolo, side bottom from half-back. Tuvey. To take them on, might regret that now. Lumumba, oh, look at this. Eagles everywhere. Hill for Shuey. Oh, terrific service again for Kennedy. So Collingwood hem them in here. They haven't been able to do that effectively at all, really. Bennell, and again, he spots a spare West Coast player. Pritis. Uses Butler, who was available. Changes the angle to half forward. Natanui. Too strong, and he read it beautifully through the air, and that could be 50. And that's a disaster for Tyson Goldsack and for the Pies. Nick Natanui comes in, and they've kicked 4 goals in 11 minutes. They're going to be hard to catch from here. The margin 42. Wouldn't want to play them in this sort of form, would you, at the moment? Pies shuffle it forward. Broomhead had to release it, and he knew it. Was able to get it.
Should be a goal.
Further, and now Pendlebury from 35 is affected as he kicked it into the pocket. Now it's tough time for side bottom.
Just great defence in the finish by the Eagles. They had genuine opportunities to kick goals, but there was a lunge on Pendlebury, there was a lunge on side bottom.
But just the pressure, nowhere near what it was last week from Collingwood.
To the wing. Oh, could have been a free. Gaff.
He has run hard, Gaff. He was down in the defensive goal square, and he's up on the wing.
Well handled by Lysette. Hill, he's just got into the clear.
Good hands.
Takes the mark. You could see that Jesse White was coming, but he couldn't stop him.
Well, some of their transition from full-back into the goal square or deep forward 50, Jason, has been top class.
Yep. Some good pressure on last week without actually scoring a goal. Comes in and joins the goal kickers in this quarter.
Hold on.
Now, Nick Nananui is deep. He'll have a chance to run up for this one, though. He lets it for Kennedy. It was great work. And Kennedy just can't quite cling on. They work well together. Solo for Broomhead. It's stuck down between his legs. Witz feeds it back in for Solo. Couldn't get it clear. Here's Cox off the left. This will be popular. Coxie kicks a ripper. And look at them come for him.
That's a great celebration, not just of the goal, but of the big man's great career. He won't get too many more on Patterson Stadium. That may even be his last, and if it was to be his last, Jason, it was a cracker.
It's not a bad one, is it? He finished it off beautifully. Look, we don't want to be too harsh on Alex Fasolo, but it's the second errant hand pass from him out of the defensive 50 that's directly resulted in an Eagles goal. You want your creative players there, but can't make too many mistakes.
Can poke it out wide for Travis Cloak. I was waiting for that. Oh, boy. Of all the people he could have picked out, too, he's given another disposal for Eric McKenzie.
Makes it really hard to abuse your teammates for not hitting you lace out when you do that.
Well, I wonder right now how Nathan Buckley is feeling.
I wonder how Adam Simpson's feeling.
Three-quarter time. And there is Nathan Buckley. Can't get out of there quick enough. Still a quarter to go. That's the bad news. He needs to find some magic at the last break because his team is trailing by 48 points and they could be out of the 8 tonight. Brodie Grundy was best on in their VFL team yesterday. Oh, look at that tap, that service for Pritis. Oh, was that high? Could have been, and is in the back, as it turns out, with Blair.
15 seconds gone.
So Jack Darling. 1 goal, 1 to his name. You can see that. He's most likely to put this through, and that's exactly what happens.
If West Coast make it and Freo drop down to 5th, be an interesting first final.
Big crowd. Huge.
Broomhead. Oh, Blair. Indecision. Costly. Advantage taken. See if he can leverage that advantage. He gets it across McGovern. I mean, he's shown already as McGovern that he can play back and forward, Jared.
He's always had great talent. He nearly lost his chance to play AFL footy. I don't think he presented as well as he could have. Went back, was forced back, and had to make a decision. And he made a good one.
Advantage. Here's Cox again. Oh, again up into the sun. Darling out of sight on it. The umpire's paid a free kick.
Played high contact over the shoulder.
No one at Essendon wants to remember that. Hopefully Fletcher available.
Darling jabs it through for his third. And the margin blows out beyond 50.
Which suggests to me, Kingy, they've got lots of boxes ticked in lots of places. I think everyone believes they need a few more midfielders, but their forward structure looks potent. The midfield is growing, and the defence with McGovern coming through all of a sudden is pretty strong as well.
And moving forward again, Natanui!
Oh. Really took a one-hander.
And it's created a goal.
It's an assist.
But credit to him for going away, doing the hard yards, working his way back into the mix. And it looks like they found another one.
Cox takes the mark, got the whisper from Hill. He didn't get the bouncy one the first time. Then the fumble came from McGinnity. Now he dives on it, has to get up, he's collared, and the Pies can sweep it away. Beams, ooh, where to? McCaffer, same thing applied. Relentless pressure, they won't give up the Eagles. Cripps, hungry for more. And we get a ball up. 8 minutes remaining. Eagles fans enjoying every minute of it. Been a lean time for them the last couple of years here at Patterson Stadium. But today they just can't get enough.
It's been a great exhibition of clearance work today from Matthew Prittis, combining with Dean Cox on that occasion, with Nat Nui, the occasional one with Lysette. Look as if their finals run is just about done, but who knows what can happen. Maybe they can find some form over the next couple of weeks and make that an absolute belter.
Now Jesse White tries to forge a path through, which he does reasonably successfully. Beams off balance. Caught.
In your wildest dreams, imagine them troubling Collingwood at the MCG. But we've seen teams struggle the week after coming home from the West, and it's been a warm day that'll take plenty out of them.
Darling takes another mark.
They've done a lot of chasing.
This is a smashing 59 points.
Their midfield has dominated, and it's given their forwards another chance to shine. And they look freer than they have for years. Well, not years, but for months, with last week the exception.
So Jack Darling for his 5th goal. And the crowd stays silent, but not for long. The siren sounds, and the West Coast Eagles are still September dreaming after a conclusive victory over Collingwood. They have smashed them on every front today in Perth, and they've won by 60 points.
Couldn't have been more impressive. They've got their timing right, Jason. If they can win the final 3, they're going to go in with some awesome form. And who knows then what they can do in finals. It's difficult to win it from outside the top 4. But the Eagles, it'll be just almost like winning a premiership, just making the finals, given the depths of despair they're in at the midpoint of the season. But down on the ground, we've got David King with the Midfield King.
Oh, the Midfield King, all right. That was your highest possession game for 6 years. At 40 plus again today, you must have really enjoyed that one.
Oh, we're getting really good use from our ruckman, and we're starting to really use the ball when we get it. So we're winning the contested footy, then we're getting out into space and starting to use our skills better than we have for most of the year.
What's changed the last couple of weeks is that fast footy is back. West Coast look like they're playing the best football in the comp at the moment.
Yeah, we've really worked hard in training with our footy fundamentals, and we're just doing the basics well. As I said before, we're in the contested footy, and then we get out in space, and we've got some really good runners, so it's exciting for us.
Are you surprised you weren't tagged today?
Oh, mate, the way modern footy goes now, you know, that's the way it goes. And Luke Shuey's been doing really well with that tag this year.
You enjoyed that goal?
It's always nice, and obviously Dean's finished up, so he's been fantastic playing for this footy club, and he's a fantastic ruckman.
Well done, go and celebrate.
Thanks, King.
Had 35 disposals against Collingwood in round 10. Kicked a couple of goals today, 42 disposals and 1 goal won.
And he made a great point about Luke Shuey, who has had to learn to live with the tag. Well, there's been a few more successful than McCaffrey in recent times. Shuey picked up 32 himself with a goal. The midfield of the Eagles starting to get it together.
Yes, it was an avalanche in the end. They kicked 19-12, 126. Collingwood 10-6, 66, and they're outside the 8. But the Eagles are coming. Beware.